The state of Nevada boasts some of the most jaw-dropping scenery in the United States. The amazing red sandstone formations of Valley of Fire State Park, the snow-capped Sierra Nevada mountains, and the stunning blue waters of Lake Tahoe. But it's indoors that visitors will find one of the state's most mystifying attractions, the Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park Fossil House. This intriguing institution was built around a single artifact with a puzzling past.
It's about 14 inches long. It's like a light tan in color. It's rough and bumpy, and it's around 200 million years old.
This relic recalls an unlikely fossil hunter who altered the face of science forever.
This is a story of how an object from the past changed one girl's future.
It's the early 1800s. The world of science and learning is on the brink of a new age. A series of bizarre finds, sparked by the unearthing of a complete mastodon skeleton in 1801, has introduced a different understanding of how life on Earth came into being.
At the time, scientists were still divided on whether or not animals could actually go extinct.
But in 1811, in the small coastal town of Lyme Regis, England, one 12-year-old girl is about to open the door to an era of unimaginable discovery. Her name is Mary Anning.
Even at this very young age, she was smart and curious.
After her father passes away unexpectedly, Mary's family is left destitute.
Mary and her family were devastated. Mr. Anning was a major breadwinner.
Following her father's death, Mary drops out of school, and to help put food on the table, she takes to combing the beach for seashells. Before his death, Anning's father would take her and her brother collecting shells to sell to tourists as souvenirs.
Mary's father taught her what exactly to look for and also which might fetch the highest price at a tourist sale.
Needing a source of income more than ever, she takes her work very seriously.
Mary would find dozens upon dozens of shells to sell to the tourists in town. But he wasn't the most lucrative business, and her family still struggled to put food on the table.
One day, she finds a curious object, unlike anything she has seen before.
Mary and her brother were walking along the beach, and they saw something sticking out of the rock. They weren't quite sure what it was at first, so they had to look closer.
It appears to be the remains of an animal, but it's not like anything she's seen before.
Right from the get-go, Mary was very excited about this discovery, so she wasted no time in starting to excavate it. This creature was pretty crazy looking. The skull was over 4 feet long. It had a pointed snout, kind of like an alligator, with a much larger eyeball, a spine like a fish, but flippers like a dolphin.
The more sand she clears, the more remains there seem to be.
Mary had probably never seen a specimen quite this big.
What she uncovers will change her family's fortunes forever.
She just wants to save her family, but little does she know, she's going to make scientific history.
It's the early 1800s in the seaside town of Lyme Regis. 12-year-old Mary Anning ekes out a living selling pretty seashells to tourists. But one day, she comes across something buried in the sand that will change her life and the future of the world forever. Mary eventually uncovers more of the remains of the bizarre beast.
Mary would use brushes, pickaxes, even little picks and screwdrivers to slowly get the fossil out of the rock. She'd spent days upon weeks excavating what turned out to be a 17-foot-long specimen. Mary had never seen an animal like this. She knew right from the get-go this was a pretty rare and incredible find.
She doesn't yet know it, but what Mary has found is the first complete fossilized skeleton of a creature that comes to be named the ichthyosaur.
Ichthyosaur means fish lizard.
The ichthyosaur was an ocean predator that lived more than 150 million years ago. When word gets out about the discovery, Mary is contacted by a rich private collector.
Mary ended up selling the specimen for 23 pounds. In today's money, that's about $1,800.
For the destitute fossil hunter, it's a life-changing amount of money.
For a poor girl, that was a huge sum that was significantly going to help out her family.
The discovery awakens a passion in the young girl that she never knew she had. And over the coming years, Mary pursues her knack for fossil hunting with renewed vigor.
Mary found the first pterosaur in England, which is an extinct species of flying reptile, and also found a number of plesiosaurs, a different type of marine reptile.
Her discoveries helped to shape the world's understanding of evolution and extinction.
Mary found animals that clearly were no longer around anywhere on Earth, and proved that different types of animals lived at different times, in different environments, in different places in the world. Anning's research totally changed the scientific thinking.
Mary Anning eventually becomes recognized as one of history's most important fossil hunters.
Even without proper schooling or a research background, she became incredibly respected within the scientific community.
And her legacy lives on in yet another way.
Mary Anning was the inspiration for the tongue twister, "She sells seashells by the seashore."
Today, this ancient ichthyosaur vertebrae fossil is on display at the Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park Fossil House in Berlin, Nevada. It's a reminder of an unlikely investigator and her incredible contribution to science.